Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV for some daily news action. Things we're going to be talking about on today's show include resurgent rumours around Christian Pulisic, talk of a winter break for Liverpool, and Adam Lallana potentially facing a ban after being sent off last night. Before we get stuck into that though, it is the 60th anniversary of the Munich air disaster, which cost the lives of the Busby Babes. Obviously, truly tragic incident and one that's being remembered around Manchester and around the world today. I just want to take this opportunity just to tell people that our stance on it, and look, we at the Redmen TV will not stand for and will not tolerate anyone who uses Munich as some sort of trolling tool, the same way that we wouldn't stand for it with regards to Hillsborough. So anyone who we see on any of our social accounts, you know, at any time, but especially today, be aware that we will be muting, we will be banning people because it has no place in football, and it absolutely 100% has no place anywhere near anything the Redmen TV does, because obviously our thoughts and feelings go out to all the people in Manchester and anyone affected by the tragedy, because it is a terrible, terrible tragedy at that. And yeah, you know, particularly on a day like today, the 60th anniversary, yeah, absolutely no place for it. And look, no problem with a lack of understanding, but go out and find out more information. If you want to know more, do Google it, do check out some trusted Manchester United accounts. But yeah, not the time and not the place. But anyway, yeah, great to see tribute from Liverpool Football Club as well, going out there, and a lot of people as well. So yeah, great stuff. We move on then to the actual Liverpool news. I'm going to start with Adam Lallana. A surprise inclusion for the under-23s last night as he looks to regain match fitness. We know he struggled a little bit since coming back from the long injury layoff. We didn't think he was going to struggle this much. Yeah, we've actually got a little clip here that we will show. Adam Lallana has basically lost his head big time here, gets knocked in the back, and then decides to put on the, well, it's a poor version of the $1 Million Dream. Finishing move, sent off. 63 minutes into the game, Liverpool went on to lose that game. They finished the match with 9 men on the pitch. I think, you know, Spurs obviously beat them in the end. Not great. It doesn't look great for Lallana. And the strange thing is that if you could have picked a Liverpool player on the pitch that maybe would have been the player to do that, I think Adam Lallana might have been the last player I'd picked, if I'm perfectly honest. But now, as it stands, the story coming out of it is that he won't be banned for senior Premier League games, but he's likely to get a ban, 3 games at least, for the under-23s, which obviously has no great impact on Lallana. That will have just been a fitness run out for him as much as anything else, and back into first team contention. But I just know your thoughts. Should he get a ban? Should he get a senior ban for that? Now, I'd be interested to know what the circumstances are around it, because it seems so massively out of character for an Adam Lallana. You know, he plays on the edge in terms of, you know, his work rate and aggression, but again, it doesn't seem, and maybe if you watch this and you've followed his career from his Southampton days of it, maybe he's got priors to this. The none that I'm aware of, and none certainly that I've seen from watching him since he's joined Liverpool Football Club, but you know, he's grabbing teenage footballers by the throat in a competitive game of football. You know, it would be double standards. I think I would expect some sort of form of retribution, I guess, if someone was doing that to a Liverpool player. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll come to everyone's comments on the things we discussed when we get through the rest of the news story, so stay tuned to the end of the show, and I'll try and get through some of your comments as well. We've got Sai behind cam as well, just doing that right now. Okay. So we move on to transfer news. Pulisic. Ooh. So it's been reported, right? This is, you have to kind of follow me down the rabbit hole on this one. So the Echo were reporting, that the Daily Mail are reporting, that Bild are reporting. So we'll start with Daily Mail. They claim United joined Liverpool and Bayern Munich in a chase for 40 million rated Borussia Dortmund star Christian Pulisic. It says that right there. No, there's going to be a tug of war between 3 powerhouse clubs. Now, just to clarify, maybe there's some crazy new variation on the tug of war. I'm pretty sure a tug of war is a 1v1 activity, not necessarily individuals, but teams of people. So I don't think you can have a 3-way tug of war. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm entirely wrong. If you've got examples of that, tweet us. It's titled three-way tug-of-war. Please don't Google that. I'm probably going to go for something nobody needs to see on a Tuesday morning. But if there is a video example of an actual three-way tug-of-war, I will stand corrected. Tweet us at the Redmen TV. But yeah, he's got a contract till 2020 and they're desperate to keep hold of him. We'll follow it down and then to Bild. We've translated this from German. Also, Bayern has Pulisic on the list. Yes, he's the biggest gem in the BVB squad. Pulisic, 19. The offensive player's a contract until 2020, which I've said already. We plan with him well beyond the summer, says Michael Zorc. Yeah, and look, I think as it says, he's top of a number of clubs list. His market value again is around the £40 million mark, and not much more than that, to be perfectly honest. Let me know your thoughts on this. £40 million. I mean, look, he's 19. But he's very, very good. And because the transfer market's kind of gone a bit crazy in terms of valuation, £40 million should be a crazy amount of money for a 19-year-old, but all of a sudden that seems like a very reasonable fee. Interesting, of course, because he's an American international, won't be going to the World Cup. I apologise to any of our American viewers. I bet you didn't expect us to have a little reminder, a little sly reminder, stroke dig, at the fact that the Americans won't be playing in the World Cup this year. But there you go. It means that, you know, he's not going to be torn away. It means that any deal, you'd want to see it done early, but it means there's not necessarily as much pressure to get it done as much. Last bit of news then, just quickly, Dan Rowan, BBC Sports editor, reports that apparently the Premier League are in discussions over a winter break when the current TV deal ends. Very, very interesting stuff. It's stuff that a number of Liverpool managers over the years, and mainly foreign coaches coming in, have been rallying for, because look, we talk about the failure of the English international team, talk about the struggle to compete on a domestic and European front for Premier League clubs. We're fighting against teams that have far less competitive leagues and also have, you know, time to put their feet up over the Christmas period as well. The English League is a very, very intense one. So the talk is, they've said in the past that a winter break is not feasible until the end of the current television deal in 2019. Talk's been ongoing for several months and understood to have been constructive. A January break has been under discussion, which, if agreed, would not impact traditional festive football fixture schedule. Because I think that's one of the things as well, is that people like Boxing Day football, people like football in the build-up to Christmas, and I can't argue too much, if I'm honest. I must admit, we always sit down as a family on Boxing Day. And we very rarely actually go to the games on that day, but we all get together, all the mates and men get together, and whether it's on a stream or on the telly, and watch the Reds, and that is part of the furniture of our Christmas experience, so to speak. But yeah, it's very, very interesting stuff, and I want to know people's thoughts on this. Do you think that the Premier League needs a winter break? Do you think it needs it to be competitive, or is it just one of those things that it's the homogenisation of the modern football game, that in order to introduce this, it's just more continental muck polluting our pure bred English product? I'm sure the EDL will be all over that. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to come to the comments right now. Si, can we start off? Let's go all the way back. Let's go back to the Lallana if we can, please.
So I said, should Lallana get banned for it? And everyone said, yeah, he should. He attacked a kid. Expected better from Lallana. I was shocked. That was Daniel Sorin.
Yeah.
One of them was interesting. Someone who sounds like he watched the game. JLFC says they were chopping him left, right and centre, Paul. Real hard challenges, but he should still know better. I
think that's the thing, isn't it? From what I've seen a few people saying that, yeah, Venslav Diankov says, I've heard he's been kicked through the whole game, so maybe he snapped, and that's what I'm hearing about it. But as I say, I mean, you can't react like that. Look, if someone was doing that to you in the street, you'd turn around and you'd punch the teeth down the throat. You're on a football field. You're a senior professional. So yeah, I think it was a bit stupid, if I'm honest. Moving on then, Si.
So Brendan says, if I type in three-way tug-of-war, I'm afraid something to do with Dele Alli comes up.
I know, but what we'll never know is what happened with the person holding the phone. How involved were they in this whole thing? Because it stands to reason. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I'll let your imagination do what you got to do. But yeah, it is. Yeah. Wicked Juice says Paul has Payjack nudes on his phone. I think I do, actually. Not full, just full frontal. It's full. No. I think we all do. I think he put something in the group chat the other day, didn't he, say?
Oh, yeah.
He did. Just saying, Payjack nudes exist.
It was actually Aubrey that put that in.
That's a good point, actually. And Aubrey did, to be fair, Aubrey did a photo. Chris did send a picture of himself topless. If Liverpool win the league, we'll release that. Let's see. Should we move on to Pulisic then?
Yeah, so everyone seems to be quite excited about the prospect of it. Daniel Surin, Dancy, says 40 million would be an absolute bargain. They won't sell him for 40, no way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Be interesting to see. I mean, he's a young player and he's obviously being developed at Dortmund, but they do have a track record of selling players for reasonable fees. And naturally, to be fair, this season they've got a lot better value in terms of selling people. So I don't think it's outside the realms of possibility, but it would be very much. I think Liverpool need to do a similar thing to what happened with Van Dijk, and I don't mean how it ended up, but I mean, sell the project to him, sell it to him early and make him dig his heels in, and then hopefully force the transfer deal through better than we did with Van Dijk to some extent. But I want to know people's thoughts then, because there's obviously a lot of talk about him being brought into Bayern Munich because obviously Robin and Ribery are no spring chickens anymore. But do you think he's the kind of player that Liverpool need? And also, where would you see him playing? Would you see him playing from the left, or would you see him playing as one of the eights in Liverpool's system? Let us know in the comments below. Let's do a couple more, please, Shay.
So Brian McMahon says signing Pulisic wouldn't just be an amazing signing, it'd be beating United and Munich to a talent. Big statement. Absolutely,
completely agree with that. Seen someone saying, Warren Thomas, Lallana time is up. I don't know what that means, unless he's, presumably he's in a car park of some description, and maybe see him, he's just not putting enough money in the meter. Look, Lallana's not had a great season, but he's been hampered severely by injuries, and it was something interesting that Jurgen Klopp said this through the week about how missing a couple of games is not a big injury, but he had a big injury and it's taken him a while to get over that. And look, I know he's starting to get towards the age now where you need to be in prime physical condition if you want to get yourself through. And I think he will. I think we'll see a very good end to the season from Adam Lallana. And that can only bode well for Liverpool. It's mad how his ability seems to have been diminished in the eyes of a few in his absence. It's weird how that can work both ways sometimes. But yeah, Adam Lallana's a tremendous player. Finn Nielsen said another bollocks rumour, probably Bayern banned. Yeah, it's entirely possible though. Any more for me, Si?
Yeah, so on the Lallana thing, someone said, it was Fahish Rahman says, do you think that is a factor of Lallana being dropped by Jurgen Klopp for the next match or even the next couple of matches?
Jurgen Klopp is very much the kind of guy who defies expectation and logic in some regards. So a lot of us would be like, right, Adam Lallana, you've done a silly thing, you're banned, you're out, or whatever. And Jurgen Klopp is the kind of guy who turn around and go, you've done a stupid thing, come here, mate. What's going on? What's in your head? Right, how can we sort that? And if he means it, he takes some time in the stands, then it will be for the benefit of Adam Lallana. It's interesting, I was reading an interview with Ilkay Gundogan, or Gundogan, why not? Talking about when he was a young kid at Borussia Dortmund, and Klopp basically turned him and said, right, you're out the squad, you're going to sit in the stands for a bit, and he couldn't quite figure it out, but that little bit of time to kind of cool off and assess the game and whatever actually meant when he came back into the side, he was fit and flying now. Obviously, massively different sets of circumstances because Lallana is fully integrated into Liverpool's team, but it could be one of those things. And I'm seeing a few people talking about Danny Ings being injured. I actually have no information on that.
Yeah, I saw, this is just what I've seen on Twitter before. Someone said that he got injured, and then a few other people said no, he got a bit of a knock during the game, but he played on and finished 90 minutes and looked okay at the end.
Okay, so, cool. Well, if we know any more of that, stay tuned to the Redmen TV Twitter account. Right, so we are recording the podcast today. I'm looking for topics, interesting Liverpool football, random, whatever you want. Me and Chris together in the studio recording it. Go to @the_Redmen TV on Twitter. Drop us a follow if you're not doing that already. You should be, because it's boss. It is amongst the best of the Twitter account in the history of the world. But yeah, we're looking for topics. There's a tweet out there saying podcast day, send us in some topics. Do that right now, and the best ones we'll get through on today's podcast. Other than that, yes, thank you very much. Drop a like on this video because every little helps. Wow, full as there. But yeah, also subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Tesco. Gives a fuck. Thanks, Si. Other supermarkets are of course available. Aldi, for example. Other than that, we'll be back with more news tomorrow. Some great content coming up, including the podcast. And yeah, enjoy your day, and we'll see you all soon. Ta-ra.